I just had a great conversation with Xavier Farley. He's a coworker and a friend of mine. He does media planning for Google by day, and on the night and weekends, he's a content creator. He has amassed on his TikTok account over 320,000 followers and 6 million likes. And I hope you enjoy the conversation. I was like, oh no, did he forget?
No, definitely not. I'm just like, I'm not a morning person, but this isn't that late, this isn't that early, but
Yeah, I mean, we work together and we never catch up on the weekends. So I can imagine you're like, I just want to break from this guy. I just can't deal with this kind of weekend. I can see that.
yeah, actually, you often come to the rescue and you're like sending great updates internally at the agency, like about time saving. So,
Oh, you saw that?
yeah, literally love that. Love that stuff.
Yeah. I just find that I read this book by Tim Ferriss. Have you read the 4-Hour Workweek?
I haven't.
It just like it gave me a different perspective on things. Like I'm wasting so much time doing like things that don't have a large impact on what I'm doing. And so meetings was like one of the first areas where if I'm just talking to you to catch up on your day, that's fine. But if I'm doing that for like 3 hours a day and I'm not getting anything back from it, maybe it's time to start like being smarter with how we set up meetings. So yeah, that's a big thing about what I do with this podcast. I just try to like read a ton of self-development books, and I love to write. You've always seen my emails. I like writing. So this all came together. I see that you got a nice ring light behind you. Looks a little similar to mine. Is that a new thing, or did you figure that out, like that you needed the right lighting when you started doing this whole TikTok fashion posting?
Yeah, that's a great question. I discovered that I needed it as I was kind of like trying to dabble into some sort of like social media content creation.
Yeah.
I've had this one for like 3 years. And then I actually bought a couple of box lights as well, because they give you like good lighting, but a little less harsh. So I feel like I'm pretty stocked on the studio equipment.
Yeah, well, you better, because at this moment, so there's a lot of things you're doing, right? There's one is we're not going to talk very specific numbers here because we won't do that with Google secrecy, but you're planning millions of dollars for Google media planning. And on the side, you're doing TikTok videos where I don't know how the hell you did it. In a very short period of time, you have over 320,000 followers and 6 million likes. That's a lot. Yeah, like that's a lot to do in a day. And this is why I like to have these conversations with people. It's like some people just do so many damn things, and it can be everyone can learn from that. So you have an amazing career and you're doing this thing which seems like it could take off. Like I would say at this moment you're probably an influence. You have 300,000 followers. That's a lot. And so I'm curious, where do you find the time? Because I try to do like this podcast thing. I have to find time around my schedule because my career and obligations like that, those things come first. I'm curious what time of the day and days of week you're doing all this stuff, because I see hundreds of videos that you post. It's like I don't even know how you do it. So what time strategies do you use to do all this stuff?
So the time saving that you were discussing was actually kind of key to that. Even though I prioritize doing content like right at the end of the day, like around 6, 7, so I can still get some daylight, that's going to be disrupted with daylight savings. It requires a bunch of energy. So I try to like focus as much energy I can just like on work during the day. Because I mean, it's great to catch up with people and it's great to be connected, but that could take just as much energy. So it's about like trying to like get as much done during like the day work wise as I can within my 8, 9 hours, and then leveraging the evenings and the weekends to the content creation. I've learned that it is a lot, and it takes a lot of balance, which, as you know, because you've got plenty going on, family man, awesome career as well, and this podcast going. So yeah, definitely a huge balancing game.
So evenings and weekends are time to do content creation. What about early mornings? Have you ever done early mornings? And I asked that because I find I'm more creative in the morning, like very early, like when I just wake up. And I have more and I have a lot of energy in the morning. Well, you say you're not a morning person, so maybe it's the evenings for you. But is there any mornings, or it's mostly evenings and weekends?
I used to try mornings and then like try to squeeze a video in like the morning and then start doing like another one at the end of the day. But that just started to burn me out too much. And I'm such an evening person that I just find it easier to get as much content as I can done like at night.
Got it. So, okay. So I have so many damn questions for you that I'm so curious, because for me, super relevant for me, I guess. I'm trying to start up a YouTube channel and I'm trying to get to your level and just starting out. So so many questions here. First is, how long did it take you to get to 300,000 subscribers?
So on TikTok, it took me about a year and a half to get this far on the platform. And this was like right when the pandemic hit and everybody was like the quarantine. And so I was telling people to hop on TikTok while it's early, because like this is where the growth could happen, y'all. And it fortunately did. Of course, there's like strategy and navigating the platform. But yeah, it's just starting on a platform early, taking advantage of trends as soon as they pop off. And then, I don't know, just kind of finding your right pocket in the internet social space is really important too.
Was it gradual, or was it like big video spikes like that took off? Like, was it just like like every month it's like, okay, I got another like 5,000 or whatever? Was it like, how did that growth happen?
That's a really good question. I feel like it happened overall fairly consistently and gradually. However, especially as TikTok was kind of emerging, people were really getting large growth from viral stints on the platform. So I would somehow just get a string of videos that were getting hundreds of thousands or even upwards to millions of views, like this time last year around like Fashion Month and just like Halloween. And so those definitely helped. And especially when people are like on breaks, so they're not busy too much with work, school, and everything. So it's usually around those periods where I got like huge growth spurts. But since I'd say the start of this year, it's been a lot more gradual and consistent, which I actually prefer it that way. It allows you a lot more control over the community that you're building.
Yeah. So what is your content uploading strategy? What's your cadence strategy? I've looked it up a lot. It's like everyone has like, oh, Fridays are good and Saturdays are good. And I'm like trying to find that cadence for myself. What are you doing once a day? You said that you were trying to at one point do once in the morning, once in the evening, twice a day. That's a lot. How many are you doing a week? And what days do you find is the best time to do it?
Excellent question. I definitely try to get at least one video up. I mean, YouTube versus TikTok. Like if I were doing longer form YouTube videos, I would definitely do less, because there's a lot more, I think there's longer lengths and maybe a little more quality and just more involved there in terms of like what you want to discuss. But TikToks are shorter like length. So I definitely try to get at least one. I think the platform benefits you if you get at least two a day, but it depends on your concept. So posting at least 5 to 7 times a week, I think is just what's been best for me. And I find that doing it, on the weekends. And for some reason, Wednesdays, maybe it's just like hump day and everybody's just like needs a break to detach from their busy weeks. That's a huge, like, kind of spurt in engagement as well. I don't really know why, but.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing Saturdays, and then I was like, wait, let's take a step back. And then so now I'm thinking Wednesdays and Fridays. But that might change because I keep changing. I keep learning like how, because I guess every piece of content is different. Mine's like more like educational to a certain extent. I don't know if that, but Wednesdays does sound good, right? It's like Wednesday, middle of the work week, it's hump day. You're like, maybe like feel a little better, so that little like inspiration video could be better. Wednesdays does seem like something I'm going to test. But here's the thing. My videos are come on here and I talk, and sometimes I'll talk to people like you. But yours seem like you need a lot of planning. So I don't know how you're getting 5 videos a week, 5 to 7 videos a week. Your videos are like, tell me if I'm describing this correctly. You're giving inspiration on how to do fashion trends, and you'll design like a whole outfit or an apparel, outfit. And for someone who can maybe use that for the weekend, I don't know, or if they want to get some inspiration from you. But you need a lot of clothes to do that, and you need a lot of planning. And like your stuff isn't just like, oh, I'm gonna put some pants on and like a t-shirt. Like you go all out. Like that's like how do you plan? Well, I guess it's this. It's like, are you planning for that midweek, or are you just like so knowledgeable in this that like what you're doing? It's like, oh, just a matter of like going to my wardrobe, picking all this stuff out, and like throwing it on because I've done this millions of times. It just seems like a lot of planning to get something 5 to 7 videos in a week. I'm curious how do you do that? Like what are the strategies you find for putting all that planning work together? And then you got a video edit, because that's a lot of video editing from what I see.
Another great question. Yeah, I found that as you want to take your community and your platform more seriously, you do need to plan. In some cases, for maybe more informational type of content, like along the lines of what you do, there's people who like, to an extent, outside of podcast format, like plan out scripts and plan out like storylines. And like in my case, like, yeah, it's planning the outfits in advance. I found that in a lot of trial and error and experimentation, that like just kind of throwing things together and doing it on a whim doesn't always get the job done, especially as you grow such a large following and people get certain expectations of quality. So yeah, now I've had to really analyze what my community is asking for, what kind of characters, what kind of styles, or what kind of outfits they want, having to look into those aesthetics and really analyzing them and evaluating them and determining what composes those, and then shopping to determine what I need to get, whether it's like bigger items or small ins and outs. Doing all of that, it just requires a lot of on-the-fly planning. And it's kind of exhausting doing planning as my career and then planning as my little kind of side venture. But
it's got to be exciting though.
It is, because it's like, it's a way that you can ultimately start to top
right?
on.
It's one video, like you're so excited, you have this whole plan. One video could get like millions of people you can inspire millions of people with what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of drive and momentum that kind of keeps the energy going and somehow just kind of keeps it all coming together at the end of the day. I don't know how.
Yeah, so you started probably doing you probably had your own ideas. Are you at a point now where, because I think you mentioned this, that your fan base or followers, they're giving you what they want to see? Are you mostly using that now to design new videos and new outfits?
Yes, and the reason being is because, and this is a huge kind of sentiment, at least on TikTok, and I believe like maybe amongst creators in general, is at the end of the day, it comes down to what your audience wants. As a creator or as an influencer, whichever title you want to take, it really comes down to, a hobby and a fun activity that you do, but through that, how can you serve others? And so it's just like, I've tried doing my own thing and like what I want to do and just what Xavier thinks is so amazing and interesting. And sometimes that doesn't always pop off. I found that if I have something that's at least kind of similar to what my audience wants and I can press into their interests a bit further, that's what's really been most successful for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Has anyone reached out to you, like a clothing company, to say, well, first of all, can we just say you're an influencer? Can I just say it? Like you guys have to be an influencer at this point. We talk like you're humble about how you talk about this, but essentially you're an influencer if you have 300,000 followers. So
Yeah.
media planner by day, influencer by night. Is that fair to say?
I like the differentiation that someone said on TikTok the other day. An influencer is someone who like people will really listen to like lifestyle wise, but a creator is someone who like
creator, got it.
Is kind of provides like things that is like more entertainment, more kind of I don't know, maybe I think both kind of dabble in inspiration, but anyway, sure. I think as I got maybe more brand sponsorships like I did on Instagram, and if I kind of did more of that and like people actually bought, maybe I could be like, I'm an influencer. But for now, I think creator kind of sticks. But
well, I looked at your page now. It looks like you are driving to an Amazon page. And so you have your own, I don't know how that works. You have your own Amazon, it's not a clothing line, but I'm assuming it's like an affiliate type of work where you're probably, are you curating that page like based on what you've wore?
yeah, so something recently new I've started to do. I've had that page for a while and I didn't really know what to do with it when I was like dabbling in more of my Instagram influence. And so recently just I've kind of reinvigorated it. And yeah, it's a page that you can, I think as long as you sign up for an affiliate program on it, like anybody could like obviously do that. And you can create idea lists. And I found that since I've been ordering so much stuff on Amazon recently, hopefully that's an opportunity to kind of like showcase, hey, here's what I recently featured in a video. If you guys want it, pick it up. I mean, I think it might take a little more hustle and promotion to kind of get traction there. But I don't know, just trying to identify additional ways to monetize all the effort.
Who has anyone reached out to you about partnering with you on like a clothing company, apparel company?
Yeah, like I'm a part of this like network where we get like an influencer list where you get like automatic like notifications of upcoming like campaigns you can participate in. And I've had some brands reach out, but it's like I'm kind of really over the we'll send you something free and here's your like affiliate code, or like just trying to give me a couple $100. Like I want some money. So that's why I'm just like, and I want it to be a good fit. I just don't think I've found that quite yet.
Got it. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do have to, right? It has to be you. Like you can't just probably pick any situations that it won't fit your content, and then your viewers will be like, "What is this? This is not what we've been looking for." Yeah. So but you have had people reach out to you. It is interesting. I think you're going to be able to blow this out of the water. I just can't. Yeah, I can't find a reason why a clothing apparel company in your niche wouldn't want to work with someone who has 300,000 followers. But
yeah, I just recently had like a brand reach out like because of their shoes that they want to promote, like that semi-luxury. I mean, great pricey item. I can get a free pair of shoes. But I mean, based on my audience, like they're not really like the luxury kind of space. And like would they maybe buy a pair of shoes that expensive? I can't guarantee that. And would it make them maybe like I could do it for me, but I don't know if I'm really doing it for them. So it's those kinds of decisions where I'm just like to do it or not to do it. It's kind of like really takes some weighing.
All right. So when you started off doing this, what kind of video equipment did you start off? And then where are you now? Like where has your equipment game evolved to? Because I'm sure you maybe started off with like a phone, then saw, wow, this is taking off. And then like you got a ring light. I got myself a nice little ring light, but then you probably got like, I don't know. I'm curious what equipment you're working with.
That's a great question. Actually, I still use my phone. I of course had like when I first started, the phone was outdated, was quickly outdated compared to the other quality that was on the platform. But Samsung be coming through with the quality. They like have Ultra HD, and I'm able to like get super high res like videos off of this like Samsung phone. So I'm just like I might keep going the phone route until
for video
I might go into a format that requires like a legit camera. So we'll see how it goes.
What about, I see, because your videos, you're getting, it's funny like how you do it. It's so cool. It's like you jump and then like you'll have like new shoes on when you land. So you're doing that with the phone, the video editing, but then you do have a voiceover. with the voiceover, what mic are you using?
I don't use one. I use the TikTok app, and that's a huge thing where I'm just like, I would love to get a mic because the voiceover quality is, I think, subpar. But like, I would love like something more like we can't do something as legit as like what you have, but like something that at least plugs in and has good quality with the phone. I
Yeah.
definitely need to do that. But yeah, the TikTok app definitely provides some editing tools that can kind of help fill some of those gaps for creators.
Okay, so let it be known. Xavier has 320,000 followers, 6 million likes, a ring light and some box lights, but all the technology you're using is from your phone. So in a sense, there's no excuses why no one else could do it. It's a matter of planning, creative innovation, like creative designing, being a creator yourself, having the drive to do it. There should be no excuse at this point. It's not like 50 years ago where you would need like some crazy equipment. Almost anyone can do it. Even like me, I have this camera. I shouldn't even have to. I shouldn't have to need it. You're doing this with limited equipment, which is very impressive. I'm curious, you have the light I see behind you. I don't know what box lights are. I think oh,
So
gotcha,
it's just
gotcha.
like so it's like
It's
just a
smooth light.
rectangular frame, and there's like a bulb in here, and the screen helps just like disperse the light a little softer, but it gives like a good cast of light. Um, and they're pretty affordable off Amazon. I mean, yeah. So to your point, very accessible way to turn ourselves into creators these days. It just takes some vision and putting yourself out there, not being afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah, were you a little afraid at first of doing that? Like, it's not afraid, but you're doing something that you do on the side that you probably love to do. And I felt the same thing. It's like a little bit of anxiousness before you like blast this out to people like broadly, even like, friends who you're not very close with, but still they're friends who don't really know what you do on a day to day. It's still, yeah, it's getting yourself out there, just having like getting through that initial like fear of like people judging you. I always say F that, like who cares what people think. You do what you got to do. You do what you love, and if someone isn't there to support you, who gives a crap? Don't let that like stop you from doing what you're doing. So I'm sure you had a little bit of that, but it seems like you don't give a crap either, and you do what you love.
Yeah, some of the first videos I was making on TikTok were, I mean, I would have to say very cringe, very cringy. Just throwing random things out there, like lip syncing to random sounds, just following what everybody else is doing, not really knowing. But the more you just get comfortable, almost like if you picture it like you're getting on stage in front of a group of people here, just even if it's locally or like with some of your friends in the mix, and that could cause people to be like, what do I do in front of all these people? But I think just the more you just try and figure out what feels right to you and what resonates with people, the more you'll get comfortable and the more you'll build that momentum. And if you just stay consistent, then it just becomes like, I feel like a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah. What is next for you? Are you gonna yeah, you have a big following on TikTok. You are within this fashion niche. What's next? Are you gonna look at other social platforms? You might have them. I might not be aware. Other social platforms, and um, are, will the type of videos change at all, or they always stay in fashion? Like, what's the next like 1 to 2 years out like that you're thinking you can take this?
So I definitely want to stay in fashion and I would love to, yeah, expand into other platforms. I feel like YouTube just provides a lot more, just to not necessarily stability, but just more consistent support from like a monetary standpoint. Like this stuff doesn't come cheap, and it's like it's not always easy to do this for like free, especially if you have a lot of equipment involved or ongoing supplies involved. So
Thousands
would
of
love to
clothes.
expand to exactly. So would love to expand into additional platforms that can monetize effectively, but ultimately would love to, I think, if I can keep this momentum going, be a figure in, yeah, in some sort of fashion regard. I feel like Gen Z is really upcoming with cool experimental style that kind of deviates from what we're so used to. And I feel like just having like a millennial, much more mature figure in society that can kind of like fuel that and provide my own spin on it and hopefully be a figure. That could be interesting. So and also just collaborating with others. I would love to get involved in the fashion community or creative community and just kind of see what other bonds can be built, because that's also really key to propelling yourself even further. So I don't know, lots of opportunity, lots of potential. Just really just trying to go with the flow.
Yeah. You even like I see a lot of your videos are in your apartment. It looks like a beautiful apartment, by the way. But in your apartment, do you do it out like are you gonna stay within the apartment or you do it like is that gonna change like or it's just who the hell knows you'll just if you feel the vibe you might change the environment. You have a good thing going on with the apartment like it's in for people who are watching this it's like in the corner of like it feels like a you know you're on like the 20th or 30th floor of an apartment building in New York City and the scene is like buildings and you're like up there you're in like seems like a high riser and so it's a nice scene on the back when you're doing your fashion it's like it feels like New York City fashion so that's a good background I can see why you would want to do that are you going to ever change that
I think I do eventually need to change it. I'm just, despite how much my content might make me seem like it, I'm not extroverted. I'm really much more introverted. I don't really I still have social anxiety like everybody else. I'm not afraid to necessarily go out in some of these outfits, but I just don't go out too much in general. But I do think whether it's like finding a studio space that I could maybe collaborate with people to kind of make it cool and give like a theme or an aesthetic, or if I just maybe find a good kind of go-to videographer to do more outdoor around the city kind of videos in these looks, I think that that's definitely the next move. We'll definitely just kind of see how things go. I don't know. It's definitely it's a comfort level thing, but it's also like a if it isn't broke, don't fix it thing. So I'm kind of seeing how long I can squeeze my apartment as a venue.
yeah well if your apartment was like if the backdrop was very different then to me it's like it's so nice the backdrop and why change or not change it but like just don't stop doing it it's like you might keep doing it but then you might test like a couple other things but it's too good of an opportunity if you live there to not use that as a backdrop
But I have been seeing more comments from some like of my followers or just users like, do you wear this outside? Like, do you go anywhere in this? Like, you could just tell people want to
which ones
see it.
do you wear outside because some of them get pretty exotic looking and looks awesome but which ones do you go out with because sometimes I see them I'm like wow that's a bold outfit like does X go out like that like and I hope you do but I'm just curious like which ones do you go out with
Well, because I don't go much of anywhere, I don't wear much of any of them, but a lot of them are so I think that's a great question that a lot of people don't know how to interpret my content because they don't get it. So there's this thing called cosplay, which is like costume play.
okay
I didn't know what that was until I got on TikTok, and that's a huge part of my community. And essentially, like some of these looks are more costume oriented. Like some of them might be great for a Halloween party, maybe Halloween exclusively, or maybe just strictly for indoors and just your own imagination. Some of them are a little more campy, a little more extra, but they're legit outfits that I would wear. Like some of the longer sheared shirts, layered, and some of even skirts, dabbling in the genderless fashion. That's kind of an emerging thing that I've really discovered about, as a part of myself as well through this content journey over the past year. So I think as I get more comfort in just engaging with others and actually being a regular human being and going outside and socializing, I'll probably start incorporating more of these looks because honestly, I'm discovering these outfits just like everybody else is. I didn't even know some of these exist until you just experiment and try them out. But yeah, some of them I think it's up to interpretation. Fashion is an art. It could be subjective. Whatever people want to use it for or find inspiration for is really, I think, what it could be. It could be whatever people want it to be.
I love it. I think you should wear whatever the hell you want. You go out there and you fucking be yourself. I love it. Um, Halloween. You bring up Halloween. What are you thinking of a Halloween design?
Well, because like a lot of my outfits are based, and pretty much most of my outfits are based off of actual characters. People just naturally find that
Yeah,
as
so it
close
it
to.
already feels like you could do that for Halloween, but so how do you? So I guess what I'm asking is like if they're throughout the whole year, right? If they're all like awesome exotic outfits, is the Halloween? Do you have to one up for the Halloween? Like, does Halloween have to be much higher to make it seem like it's the Halloween, or is it just part of your normal content creation?
That's okay. That's a good question. It's just part of my normal content
Yeah,
creation, and like that's what's so weird is like, and I've always tried to like decipher what do people like about the content because views obviously happen if there's engagement or interest in what you're putting out there. So I'm like, do you guys just find it like a funny joke and you're just funny because it's entertainment? Do you genuinely love this? Would you buy it? Like, do you just need some inspiration for a seasonal event like Halloween? So I think as part of my strategy, just to establish my personal brand is like, this is fashion at the end of the day, whether you see it that way or not. I want to remain consistent with it throughout the year. No plus ups, no dress downs. I want to keep it a consistent theme and style and aesthetic. And and then 'cause I feel like that helps establish it to be a year-round content plan, more evergreen. But then it also just kind of allows me to assert my personal style, whether people think it's Halloween camp or they think it's a more kind of fun outfit to wear to an event with their friends. So I feel like just staying consistent, staying the course, not catering to any specific time of period. Although I could do specific like creepier outfits, like slasher killers, Nightmare Before Christmas, some of the classics. Like I
yeah.
could do
But
that really well too.
The holidays could, I guess, be more like focused on holiday outfits too,
Mhm.
or like Valentine's Day. You know, those could all be tailored. But yeah, I can see how Halloween would just be a normal part of it. All right. Well, I am personally excited to see what you're going to do next over the next few months. Um, Looking forward to see how YouTube gets built out. And I don't know, 320,000 followers. What's your goal for? Do you have a goal to grow that any higher, or is it more like my goal is to create just good content and then the followers will come?
At this point, I think I've learned enough in the ups and downs of TikTok performance and just social media, like engagement in general, is just to focus on putting out those quality videos that seems to be helping and working for people, and am confident from there that the followers are coming because since I've made this recent thing where I'm doubling down on one outfit per video and putting it together step by step, just even though I don't get videos that jump to the millions like they used to, there's like random days where a video will go from like 100,000 to 200,000 because it's hitting the right people and I'm getting a steady flow of followers, like just about maybe 10,000 or so in the past month. So it's like if I could just stay the course and stay consistent with this, I'm happy because I just know that I'll find the right people and it'll all be a good time at the end of the day.
Yeah. All right. Well, um, if we went to depth, I could probably continue talking to you probably for another 30 to 45 minutes about everything I do. You're in a new apartment, it looks like, from when you moved in there like a couple years ago, but it's Saturday morning. This is your time to create content, and you have probably a lot of shopping to do, probably a lot of video editing, planning. Um, and so I'll leave it here because I don't want to take up any more of your amazing Saturday, especially, the warm weather is starting to die down. So this is probably one of the better times to get out there. So thank you for coming on. Is there anything you want to say at the end here about? I can drop in one of your TikTok and YouTube links in the description. Anything else you want to say? I think you're muted.
Sorry. Obviously, a huge thank you for letting me hop on and chat with you. But yeah, if anyone's ever curious as to how they could bring their passion to life, get out there. I mean, you got to start today. You're capable. You have what it takes, and you will find your community one way or another. I believe. So that just goes for really anybody, but I mean, obviously you and I as well. Just got to.
I love it. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And I will see you on Monday because we work together.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great weekend too, dude.
All right. Bye.